Just the Thought podcast. We are back with another one. Guys, today we drop episode 28, Feel the Rhythm with my homegirl Royal Vibes. So look for that. Be dropping today. Another thing, shout out to my two co-hosts, Andre and Tion. They could not be here today. Shout out to Andre. Andre just got married recently. He's on his honeymoon in Greece. So I'm wishing him the best of time and cheers to more life, him and his wife. So I'm really excited for him. And then Tion couldn't be here as well. Tion is also on vacation, but we still give them love. We still show them support. And I hope they have a good week going into the next week. Stay blessed and nothing but the rest. All right. We have a great show today. I got two special guests on. This is gonna be a great show, man. I'm excited to see how this goes, and I'm excited to hear about their stories, and we can connect. So I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. Renee, I'm gonna start with Renee, but before Renee introduce himself, Renee has been a brother to me, and I'm excited to have him on. He has a lot of good wisdom, and I can't wait till he shares some of his stories. But Renee, introduce yourself, man.
Hey, how are you guys? It's a pleasure being here. Ray, thank you for the invitation, and I'm sure this is a great start of a great journey. We're going to have a lot of fun. And hi to everyone and to the guys that are on vacations and the guy that got married. Congratulations. So myself, I actually right now I am a teacher, and I've been always trying to um, do the best of me and follow my passion, pursue my dreams and make it happen. And since 2016, when I came to Spain, I started to travel around the world because I've been always into this like awareness of consciousness and spirituality world, and try to learn. I'm always trying to learn. So since then, I've been traveling around different parts of the globe, and I've been learning a lot of things, and I always try to share the lessons, and if it is worthy for someone, hey, that's success for everyone. And
Yeah, man.
yeah, that's about sharing and try to make of this world a better place.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. Dude, it's so dope that you were able to go experience different cultures, bro. I know we talked about it many times, but like
Yeah.
being able to communicate, being able to share a different experience with a different culture is like that's school for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, school's important, going to university is important, but nothing beats going to a different culture and like learning for yourself instead of reading a book. You're no, you're actually living it.
Yeah.
You're actually connecting with the people. I think that's so cool, bro.
Exactly, life. Like we have to understand that this part, it's important, all the cognitive, all the memory, the mind, and we have to educate it, but also we have to educate the biology. Our cells are trying to experience everything that they can. And if we travel, and the better life is going to teach us a lot of things, good experiences and sometimes bad experiences that they yet always end up being really good lessons.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna let my man Jordy introduce himself, man. Jordy, tell him a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, first and foremost, Ray, I'm super blessed and excited to be here. Thank you for having me, bro.
Of
Renee,
course.
hi. People home, hi. It's actually funny how we met because Ray and myself know each other for like a week, and it just clicked. And I'm super excited to share some things here because I've always like had a huge, huge, huge vision of changing the world. Like I was like a little kid, 6, 7, 8 years old. And I was thinking like I'm gonna change the world. But there was a little voice in my head that said, like, yo, bro, what kind of stupid idea is that? You're a little boy. There are 7 billion people in the world. How the, are you going to do that? And
Yeah.
experience life, I got to a point where I think to have found like the life purpose and everything to be able to do that. But before we talk about that, let's go back. I'm actually a normal guy with, I think, an abnormal vision and work ethic. Always like lived the 9 to 5 vision because it was like what is being taught. So I went to school, did all of that things, but I didn't really found it was for me. So I started entrepreneurship on a very young age. Started to discover a lot of things about myself, but starting to educate about how the world is actually working, how the universe works, energy, and all of that. And right now, 28 years old, I have a passion or an obsession for growth, and I think that comes from a place to be able to help other people from my own experience. So everything I talk about is like something I've experienced before, because if not, I cannot teach someone else about it. So let's say spiritual, mental, physical, financial development is something that really gets me going.
Yeah, man. Thank you for sharing that, yo. Yeah, and just to backtrack a little bit, like I kind of relate to what you're saying, because for me, growing up was a little different. I come from a one parent household, so my mom raised me. My mom was very dedicated to what she did, like always willing to help people, always putting her heart and soul into what she wanted to do. And it kind of, okay, when I was younger, it took time, but now I kind of have a sense of what she meant. So I feel like now, being 31 years old, I'm driven to help people, to support people, and to make a better connection with people. But our stories are different. I wanna ask you guys this, because we all grew up differently. Renee, I wanna ask you, like, what, growing up, did you always have that mindset, like, I want to change the world? How was it for you when you were younger? What were you thinking? Because now you're older, you have a kid, you have a wife. How was your mindset when you were younger? What brought you to this journey you are now?
Yeah, very interesting question. Actually, when I was younger, I wanted to help people and change the world. And since I was like 12 years old, I started to read books, that helped me a lot, like from authors like Eckhart Tolle, or like also Drúmbalo Melquisedec, and then Matias de Stefano. And I started to look into a lot of things that are related a lot to philosophy, or things that helped me a lot to understand life. And then I realized, like you were saying, that I wanted to be part, an active and an active cell of the world, and try to be aware of what I am doing, and offer the world a citizen that and a person that tries to expand the love, in all the ways, So but that was, when the time was going on. But everything for me was the top of it was when I was studying medicine. I had like this crisis, because I wanted to help the people, but I realized once I was studying medicine in the United States, and how hard and expensive that is.
Mhm.
When I was there already in all the business, um I was like, oh my goodness, I missed the point of all of it, because um for me was everything in the way that I interpreted it then. For me was like nonsense, the way to treat the our bodies and the people. It was all cold, and I was like, this is not the way that we have to treat ourselves, and to treat each other. And also in my personal mission, because I respect a lot doctors and I admire them, but in my personal way of seeing life, I was like, no, this is not for me. I want to connect because I wanted to be a cardiologist. So I wanted to connect with the hearts, but in another way, in a spiritual way, in a way that we connect each other and we build up stuff. So
Yeah.
I changed, and I realized that by teaching, by being a teacher, I could teach and learn, teach and learn, teach and learn. When we teach and learn, we're sharing information constantly, and that's how we build up a new system, a new um, a new pattern in life. So, but since I was really young, I really wanted to do something, and I keep that spirit.
Yeah, you do. From somebody that knows you, I can say the same thing. Jordy, what about you? Like, when did you realize this is what you wanted to do? Like, what was your path like for you to get to where you are now?
Oh, it has been, as you say, a path. It's always like a process of finding my true self. Because I strongly believe that in this society, we actually live by how others tend to see us. And that's where we lose the connection with ourselves. And the moment I actually understood that it's not about what others see, and actually the power of oneness and stuff, like everybody has their own path, but everybody is doing exactly what he or she thinks is best for the world at that moment going on from the knowledge and experience they have. So first of all, I was like in some kind of, I don't know, like just thinking to know how life works. Like I said already, going to school and working harder to I thought to be able to get more, I just need to work harder because that's what I've seen all my life. It's really been a journey of spiritual development. First, I've been raised Catholic, so I was believing in God. I thought I believed in God, but then I just understood that it was my mother wanted me to believe in God. So when I when I got into puberty and I started to be honest to myself, I was like, I'm gonna let this God thing like far away, like go, because it didn't make sense to me, you know.
No, yeah, it doesn't. It's like, no, I don't mean to interrupt you, but like
Yeah,
Rings the bell,
growing up, growing up too, for me, it was like I was always going to church like every Sunday, and I was like,
yeah.
why? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? So I remember this one specific moment when I went to church, and that's why I knew I did not believe. Uh, so I come from a Christian background, Baptist, which is like a type of Christian.
Mm.
And we kind of celebrate the belief of God in a different way, probably more expressive, if I would say. So one
Yeah.
time, the pastor, priest, whatever you want to call him, was doing a sermon, and the lady got up and she just started to shake, like she felt a
Ah,
spirit. And I was like,
yeah.
okay, I don't believe. I don't. All right, this is bogus. I don't believe any of this. It's like when you're younger, your parents kind of force that belief on you, and it's like, okay, it's your way of how you believe things. We understand that, and that's good. You should believe in something, but
yeah.
when you're younger, it's like it puts you in a different situation because when you don't believe, you kind of like, all right, what do I believe now? So I can imagine when you were younger, it was like, I don't really believe this, but what should I be believing? You know what I'm saying?
I was lost. I was lost. And to make you understand where that come from, because bro, I really feel right there. But imagine being raised by a super Catholic mother and an atheist father. Like going to
Oh
going to
my
the church,
god!
first communion. That as like they say, like someone that a confused mind doesn't do anything. Like where am I in this story? Going to church, being baptized, first communion, second communion, and my father like in the background. God doesn't exist. This is bullshit. La la la. So that was kind of my youth,
Right,
and
man.
How did that work? How did that work? How did that work?
you're gonna lick your fingers from how this little story is gonna end, bro. For real. because how did it end? My parents end up divorced. Like, just a side note, maybe has something to do with it, but I just went through the process, and then like making a decision like this is not what I'm believing in. But like those incoincidental coincidences that happen in your life, like situations, circumstances, people that you meet, you're like, yo, the first time you think this is coincidence, the second time you think it's coincidence, but you almost tend to question it, and the third time you're like, yo, this cannot be no coincidence no more. It's like we're living in something that an higher intelligence is like putting people in the perfect timed mathematical
Place,
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
from that moment on, I started to like get more into that, like studying, getting into meditation, and really opening up to the spiritual world. And then just I knew I had to give it a name, like believe at least in myself. Because if I ask my father, what do you believe in? Nothing. Don't you even believe in yourself? No. I'm like, yo, what's the purpose of life then? So I just seeked something for myself I could believe in, and the best thing I could believe in at that moment was in myself. But afterwards, I just needed to see that there was so much more than myself, because going from a scientific standpoint, from everything is energy, everything is energy, and only 0.1% of everything that is the frequencies that exist we can see, hear, touch, feel, or smell with our five senses. What about the 99.99 other percent of energy? So I knew there must be something more. So I started studying, reading books, as you said, Eckhart Tolle, Don Miguel Ruiz, Four Agreements, whatever. And then I came into a point that I started really practicing manifestation, law of attraction, and it really started to work out very well, actually. I started to understand that I had to take 100% responsibility of everything that was happening in my life already, because it was something I attracted with my thought, and I felt what I believed in. And until today, it's a plot twist, but my belief is God again. But not from a Catholic standpoint, but a Christian standpoint about what I feel, what I believe. It's like today I went to church here in Portugal. It's funny because the Uber or the whatever actually sent me to the wrong address. There was a church there. I entered the church. I was like, nah, this is a Catholic church, run. And then I came back to the Christian church. For those people that are not into like Christianity, Catholic is like, I don't know, it's like a priest, 70, 80 years old, reading phrases out of the Bible, and like zero connection, nothing for me. Like no offense, no nothing. I respect everyone with whatever they feel it believe in, because I do believe we're all the same and we tend to believe in something great about. But in Christianity, it's all about energy, connection, love, oneness, understanding that everyone has struggles and it's okay to have struggles, because it's actually God preparing you for some things that are so much greater than what you can see right now. And I really felt the presence of God today, bro.
Oh,
Yeah, I appreciate you for sharing that. Appreciate you for sharing that. For me personally, um, okay, because I kind of understand what you say, that you believe in God again, but in a different way. Because I feel like, I don't know, like sometimes I feel like I believe in God, but the way I see it is like we are all God. We are all
Exactly. I
God,
love that.
and I know this is in the Bible, but like for me personally, we are all God, and it shows you when you lie to somebody, you feel bad. That's God. When you
yeah.
do something good, you feel good. That is God. When you feel this way, when you feel that way, something inside you feels deeper, and I think that is God. But the way religious, I mean, I don't want to sound, because everybody has their own belief. That is a great thing, but the way I have seen it my whole life is a lot of religious people put a label on it, like, okay, God wants you to do this, you cannot do that, no, you can't do that. But it's like, I if I'm a human, I have to make mistakes. I have to do these things. I have to do that. I have to experience that. Doesn't make me a bad person. And I think what religious people have done in the past is they have done that. And it's like, it
Yeah,
makes it harder for non-believers or non-religious people to believe. And it's
yeah.
like, come on, like I had a student one time, and I'm not gonna say their name, but maybe you know Renee. I had a student that asked me if I believed in God or not. And I was like, yeah, I mean I believe in God, but I'm not religious. And it's
Mm.
like, oh, then so you believe in another God. I'm like, no. I mean, I'm pretty sure the same feeling that you feel, I feel too. I'm
Yeah.
just not religious. And I think everybody believes in something, and maybe it is God to them, but they just don't want to say anything. But I think it is in everybody that feeling. And I don't know if you guys understand me, but that feeling, I feel it. And I know
Exactly.
everybody has that feeling when they feel bad, then they feel good. That feeling inside you, that's something.
Your
That's something.
intuition.
I think that's what God is. In my opinion.
No, no, exactly.
Totally feel you, man. 100%.
No, basically, we're evolving from believing to feeling, but it's not the feel that we're used to. Is here in the heart.
Mm.
We're connecting to a higher system of living as well. All the chakras. We're talking about frequency, we're talking about energy, and 100 years ago this was unthinkable. And now there are millions of people talking about this, remembering past lives, bringing information, because we are connected. So we are like authors of a same source, and we are bringing information down from the fountain, from the source, and we are remembering, we are starting to feel that everything is that one. And once you are there, we are going out from the pattern square, from the square pattern, which is limited, to a circle pattern, which is free. When I think that's the answer for everything. It doesn't matter if it is a religion, if it is like, well, the word religion has been very mistreated through the times, but now the religions are also evolving as well, because they have to adapt. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them.
Yeah, most of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me ask you guys this, because it seems to be a when it comes to being on your own, being independent, the word consistency plays a big part. So to me, consistency is one of the hardest things to do. It's fun, but it's hard. It's probably the toughest thing I had to experience in my life that I'm still experiencing. But I want to hear your opinions on consistency. How do you guys stay consistent? And I want to know, because I've had issues before I did this podcast of finding that true meaning to what I want to do. And I had issues because I was like, I'm good in this, I'm good in that, I'm good in that, but why don't I work towards it? So I kind of sat down one day and like thought to myself, talked to my cousin who's one of my hosts, and we kind of gotten a podcast started. And I feel like with this project, I feel more consistent than ever. But I feel like even though I feel in this moment, it's so hard to be consistent. And I want to know for you guys, because you guys are hard workers. You guys, we're all from different interests in life. How do you guys stay consistent through dark times? And like, what is one of the hardest times in your life that you had to go through, but you still had to be consistent? Anybody can
please,
share.
Jordi.
Go ahead, Jordy.
All right. I love that question, Ray, because I totally agree that consistency is potentially one of the hardest things to do, because consistency is everything. Consistency leads you from where you are to where you want to go in the most fast way, because if you start lacking consistency, you kind of I like to look at it as a rhythm. The moment you consistently do things, you get into a flow. The moment you actually stop doing the thing for one day, the flow is cut and you actually have to start from the beginning, right? But consistency, what makes it easier to be consistent, do I believe, is know exactly what you want. Because Ray, as you just told me, like, I got a feeling that I want to push through with this because it gives me like some kind of fulfillment and stuff. But I've been looking for what I wanted to do for almost, yeah, let's say actually 27 years, bro. Something I already knew when I was like 21 something, getting into entrepreneurship. I knew I was a born entrepreneur. I knew that entrepreneurship is some way of living, is an attitude, is leadership. If you want to get something out of life, you got to be an entrepreneur and take the lead in whatever you do. So consistency is a part of that. How can you be consistent? First of all, you need to know where you want to go, exactly what you want. Second of all, you need to have goals that are smart, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, realistic, and time bound. Why do I like time bound goals? That puts pressure on what it is you want to achieve. So when you know exactly what it is you have to do, then you know, if I break down this big goal into, let's say, the year goal, in monthly goals, weekly goals, daily goals, then I know exactly what it is I have to do on a daily basis. And then by doing it out of discipline in the beginning, after 21 days, it becomes a habit. After 90 days, it's become a lifestyle. But you have to go through the process. And that's what taught me how to be consistent. But to be honest, it's on several things. Consistency is like nothing to me because it already is a part of my lifestyle.
Part of your life, yeah.
I'm struggling. Let's say it's a challenge for me to be consistent on, let's say, social media. Why? I'm more like an offline guy, but I understand in 2023, it's important to build your own brand. It's important to understand what's the power of that digitalization of the world. That's these podcasts. Imagine, bro, imagine being in Portugal, Spain, and Rene, where are you at the moment? Spain as well?
He's in Spain.
Okay, but
same
like,
city.
How could we ever been doing this like 100 years ago, but to get back at consistency, know exactly what you want, and just what helps as well, Ray, is an accountability partner. Like you make a deal with someone, like you make some appointments, not, but rules. Let's say rules. What are the goals? What are we going to do consistently every day? And when someone else comes in the picture, you don't only have to be responsible for yourself, but you're responsible and accountable for someone else as well. So it pushes you through, because to be honest, we lie to ourselves. When we're at bed at 12 and we're like, yo, today I still have to do my 100 push-ups, but fuck that shit. I'm tired.
Fuck it. Yeah.
But if you have to send that picture, because if not, you would have to buy a dinner for Rene in a star restaurant. I bet you come out of bed, do those 100 push-ups.
100 foot, yeah.
So that's something that helped me.
Let me ask you this, Jordy. What do you say to a person that is having trouble with these things? Writing, because you said writing things down. Writing little goals down for yourself every day. What would you say to a person that has trouble doing these things and just cannot manage being consistent? What would you say to that person?
That's a good question. I always believe for me there is one shortcut to success, and to understand this, we need to define success. So success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So to get there, you have to know what's that worthy ideal for you. Because if you just do something or tend to do something on a consistent basis, but you don't know why you're doing it, the whole purpose of being consistent make no sense. So when I believe that mentorship is the only shortcut to success, as I said already. So if you if it's not possible for you to get into that consistent mode, that means that you probably have never ever in your life been whatever
Been consistent.
been, thanks,
Yeah.
bro. Oh, been consistent in anything, because how you do something is how you do everything. So it's more an act of learning. It's a process. You will have to have someone that can teach you how to be consistent, hold you accountable on that, and celebrate the little wins. If I wanna, let's say I wanna lose 3 kilos or 6 pounds, whatever, in the next 30 days, and I know I would have to run a half an hour a day, or go to the gym an hour a day. But how am I going to do that and be consistent? Because I really, really, really have to have that burning desire to lose those 3 kilos, and then have someone that can help me hold accountable on doing it every day. And I believe the moment you actually do this, and the moment you went to the gym, celebrate with a milkshake. I don't know, when you go for a run, like, celebrate. I always count my blessings at the end of the day. I take a piece of paper, I write down today was an absolutely extraordinary day because I hold myself accountable. I went to the gym and I'm on track to lose 3 kilos. So I think that would definitely help. If you're new to this, and when you're in a bad place, like, go talk to people. Everything is energy. You're just in a low vibration, and 95% of our thoughts are the same thoughts every day. So if you're in a negative spiral of thoughts, then it's very hard for you yourself to get out of it. So gather yourself with people that are positive, with people that are grateful, with people that really are used to dealing with these situations, and then they will help you get out of the situation where you're at. Because it's freaking difficult, man. When life hits you and you're in a bad place, in what are you going to be consistent? You are already consistent in feeling bad. You're already consistent in having bad thoughts. How are you going to change that? That's be around people that can help you.
Yeah. I read a book called the Now. The Now. Yes, the Now. It was called The Now. The Now is kind of like telling you how you should live in the moment, the present moment. Because a lot of us we're either thinking about the past or we're thinking about the future. The past happened. The futures can't be controlled. So focus your present in the now. I read this book probably twice because I didn't understand it the first time, but I was doing so many things that that I did not do. I wasn't focused on now. I was always thinking about the future. I was thinking about some problems I had in the past, and it was just like, oh, this is the reason why I'm not consistent. I'm not focusing on what's in front of me. I'm not enjoying myself now. So I think it's necessary to, like you said, attract yourself with good energy, but focus on what you have in front of you now. Take the advantages, what is in front of you now, because now is the moment, and now is what you're living in. So I agree. Surround yourself with positive energy, but also focus in the now. It's so important. It's so important.
Could I like add something to this topic, because I think it's a very, very interesting perspective. The now, I've always thought the same, like the presence, like, and I wanna hear what Rene has to say on this topic as well, because I know you're like into this thing, but always like, exactly, be present, feel and see abundance in everything. Like, the biggest secret to actually live a fulfilled and happy life is to feel good. That's everything. Like, feel good, feel better than you already feel now. But I have this mentor that I really am inspired by, that says there only is the past and the future, because the now expires in a fraction of a second, because now past, now is the past, now is the past, so you can either live off of the memories of the past or the vision of the future. And if you can see the future with your mind, you can actually start creating it. And it's not that you have to like be there, or like when I got something, I'm gonna be happy. When I reach this goal, I'm gonna be rich. I don't know. Like, feel right now how it would be when you already achieve, attain whatever goal in the future. So you actually bring the future to the now, and you see how it would be there, but like try, do your best to live it.
Consistency. How have you stayed consistent through these times, and how were you able to stay consistent through dark times as well?
Yeah, well, first of all, I just wanted to say that I love everything what you have said, guys. Everyone who is being listening to the podcast, take notes. Great advices. I was thinking, and I was like, oh my goodness, so many things to say about consistency. We can go through a lot of branches, but first of all, in my experience, I've learned that, well, first of all, consistency is being related a lot to hard work, right? And there is something that I've been thinking about for many years, is that our world, biologically and systematically, in terms of ideas and religion and all this stuff, through many millenniums, have been on this system of suffering and hard work. Living here in the world, in the planet Earth, is based on real hard work, and that we need to deserve the food on the table each day, right? That has been the season that we've been living. But I think that we're changing that. We're in a transition, because our generation is living a transition in all the ways. Saying this, I feel that one measurement tool that could be very useful is the fact that we are going from surviving to living, right? And that means enjoy the life. So if you do something that you don't enjoy, I think that we are not in the right track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That has been lately, not for a long time, but lately that has been something I've been trying to integrate, and I feel that we have to do things that in which we have fun for, and that we really enjoy. That doesn't mean that hard work is a part. Yeah, you have to be consistent, right? That is really important, because it's in ourselves, in our reptile lower part of our brain, that we don't want to do things that go out from our comfort zone. So our souls, our bodies, like, no, wait, I don't want to do things um that I understand as risky for my surviving. That means working for long hours, doing things that in any conditions can be physically or mentally challenging, right? But that is different. We have to associate both things, and combine it with motivation, because we need a fuel. So if we have motivation for something, changing the world, that is a motivation. Inspire, that's another one. I want to be rich, and that's another one. Like, all those motivations that you have. But I think that, bearing in mind that we are in this transition, I think that if we are doing things only for ourselves individually, it's not going to be permanent, because the universal laws are also modifying the planet, and we have been working in cause and effect, right? Create and destroy law. But we are now we're connecting into the world laws, like the nature. If you do something, it has to be for yourself and for everything that surrounds you. That is very important, because if you do that, it's going to be permanent. It's going to be is going to hold everything that you create, because it's not only for a selfish position, it's for everything, that is going to be a major good, a main good for everything. and going down more to earth habits are essential. You know,
Yeah.
in one point of my life, I felt that I was, and I think maybe most of us we have felt like that. Um, I felt like a professional procrastinator. You know,
Huh.
and,
Yeah.
it's really funny because you know, sometimes we have to go through these stages in our life and try not to make it longer. But if we leave what it feels to be procrastinator, like procrastination is a very negative habit. Like Jordi was talking, like you're being consistent on negative thoughts or negative habits, right? So you have to change it because you need a motivation. If you have a motivation for like instantly, you're going to start to look for habits. If you don't have motivation, game over, you know? So we need all that pack so we can start to build up habits. And you were asking one question, I was thinking on it, like what can you tell to a person that is dealing with this, is struggling with this? I would
Hmm.
say also from all the things that you have saying, adding to that, I would say start with one thing. Like
One thing.
that
Yeah.
was helpful for me. Like normally I was, and each one of us were different, you know, but in I am Aquarius and I'm like very mental. Now I'm trying to balance it. But I don't know, 5 years ago I was like 100% air, you know, and all the ideas world were up here and I never reached them down. So what I started to do was like, okay, I'm just going to do one thing today. You know, I don't care if I have five things to do. If I do one thing, that's a victory. That you were saying, Jordi, that it's so true. And also connecting that victory and how can I say, like a reward feeling right now with this little body, we are having a challenge as generation, as mankind, all
Mhm.
of us, the whole world, we're going through this challenge to re-educate ourselves with the technology, how to deal with technology, because this is always giving us really easy rewarding, you know, and that is not good for us because we are pure hormones. So the hormone that is connected to the reward is in this case the is the serotonin
Yeah.
and the
Dopamine.
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 The
Yeah.
serotonin and
Dopamine.
dopamine, right? Those are the two main connectors. There are more, but in this case, we have to be aware of how we work. We are in a machine, and this machine is very important to know their buttons and all the manual. And if we are unconsciously uh, going to this trap of really easy dopamine, we are going to fail, you know. And right now we're in a risky moment as a mankind because we can't live like this. It's going to be a bomb for everybody. So, and I'm talking for myself as well, you know, like it's easy to start to scroll down and you don't feel the time. We were talking about the now, right? And now we're saying nowadays we the phrase, oh, the time flies, is being very common. Why the time flies? Because 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day or more, we are connected to either TV, computer,
Yeah.
uh, cell phone. So we are having this easy dopamine. But on the other way, if we, for example, go to the gym, we work out for 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, and then we have our dopamine with that, in which will be, I don't know, what like you said an ice cream, you said no, milkshake, to have to drink a milkshake, that will be a victory, right? And we can set up good um like rewards, positive rewards that are going to help us to have a healthy dopamine system and not the bullshit that we have nowadays, you know.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this, because we're motivationally driven. We're ambitious. We are goal setting people. Let me ask you this, and I want to hear both of your opinions. Do you think it's a good thing to be too ambitious, too motivated?
That's no, the first time I hear that question, man. The define too motivated.
Yeah, too ambitious. What is too
I
ambitious?
mean, because you're talking to three motivated people, so it's like, all right. So let me define it like this: when when I don't know when when a situation is telling you to relax and just wait it out, but you can't, and you have to keep going, but it's necessary to wait. Do you think that's still being too motivational, too ambitious?
Bro, this we could talk for days. I think this is a very interesting point of view because I don't think you can be too ambitious. But I think we need to understand that our body and our mind is continuously talking to us. So what do you think that works best? 7 days out of 7, 14 hours a day, or 6 days out of 7, 8 to 10 hours a day, and relaxing a whole day on doing nothing? What do you think eventually will get you more results?
The 7 days.
Why?
Because you're doing it every day and you're constantly going forward for what you need to do. Am I wrong?
Yeah, nothing is wrong or right, but look at that from this perspective. And this is again what I feel of what I've experienced. We tend to think the more hours we put in, the more we get out. But imagine you having 100% of your energy, your battery is like fully loaded. Your first day, you go all out, like 100%, and you lose 2% of your battery. The second day, you only have 98% left, so you do 98%. The third day, 96. Fourth day, 94. After 7 days, your battery has 88% left or 86, whatever. You go into the next week, you're fully motivated, you're fully charged as you think, but you're going harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. But imagine taking that one day off that will fully recharge you and make it happen, make it possible to start your new week at 100% of your capacity. I'm 100% sure that eventually you will be able to achieve more in a more healthy way. Because, bro, to be honest, I'm taking two less time off, man. I'm working 7 out of 7, like going all out. But being here in Portugal, like just look, if we're always in the grind, we don't give ourselves the time to think. Because you're grinding. Where is your creativity at? Nowhere.
It's gone. It's gone.
It's gone. You don't give your being the time to think. And the moment you let go of everything, it's actually the moment that your creativity, your ideas start to work and things come out that you can work on afterwards. Have you ever heard like to attract, you have to let go? If we hold on too hard on what it is we actually are doing or what we want to achieve, we tend to lose the sight. We tend to lose the like, let's put it like this. So, and I'm just the messenger. It's not my information, but success or anything that is 90 to 99% spiritual, 90 to 99% mindset. And we tend to do 90% hard work, 10% mindset. 90% hard work, 10% spirituality. Some do 100% hard work and 0% spirituality. But again, if everything is energy, we can create whatever we want with our minds and do massive action, but on a controlled way. Because if you lose control of the mindset part and the spiritual part and the taking the self-care part, you tend to lose at the end because you're gonna burn out, or you're gonna, I don't know, at a moment think like, what the fuck, man? I'm putting in all of these hours and shit doesn't seem to work out as fast as I possibly want. The moment you surrender and you give that time to yourself to recharge, you get blessed like a lot faster, a lot bigger. That's what I believe.
Yeah, Ray, I agree with that. I agree with that. Renee, what do you think?
Me too, I agree. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting question because first we have to know that in order to thrive, we need that the quality of our work it's higher than the quantity, you know? Like we have to be smarter. And if we build up a smarter way of working and doing things, it's going to be great for us. And the free time that we have has to be dedicated in order for our growth, for our personal growth, either creativity, learning other skills, having fun in a good way, and we have to identify and be honest with those good habits of our free time. So in this case, when it's time to work, and the time of try to put into all that ambition and being too ambitious, it's first we need real real expectatives first. Like, do not think, oh, I want to be more billionaire than Elon Musk just for that. Yeah, it's good and you can be that, of course, but why you want to be that? That's the most important thing.
Yeah, the question, yes, because a lot of no, I agree with that, man. I agree with that big time because a lot of people, they do something and they don't really question why they're doing
Yeah,
it. What's the purpose?
you want to be a billionaire just because you want to like show off and brag and I have like 5 Lambos and 6 airplanes. Like, what is the purpose?
I mean,
It's
don't get me wrong. That's a good life. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
but
no, I'm not saying
all
that,
right,
but
let's.
if it is only for that, I think that is not going to be still the happiness, you know?
Those eventually are the people that have everything they want and are like unhappy. 100% sure.
Yeah, but if you
Yeah,
are billionaire with purpose,
Exactly.
good to go, you know?
you're good to go.
Let's all
Yeah,
become
yeah,
billionaires with purpose.
yeah. That's my goal
That's a
too,
good,
with a purpose. All
that's a good one.
right,
That's a
so
good
let me
one.
ask you this. Let me ask you this, guys, because we're from the millennial generation. Our generation is taking this mental health thing very seriously. But in the past, from our parents, their parents, mental health was a problem, but they never showed it. They never went to therapy. They never expressed it to other people. But now it's starting to become a thing, and which is really good. I think. But what is your views on mental health, and what advice would you give to a person that is going through something, just can't figure out how to overcome their situation? I'm gonna start with you this time, Renee. I'm gonna start with
Yeah.
Renee this time.
Okay. Can you ask again that, please? Because it cut
Yes.
off for a
So
second.
so so tell me your opinions on mental health, and then tell me what would you say to a person that is going through something that is trying to overcome their situation.
Okay. Interesting. I like it. I like it. Yeah, mental
You know
health.
me,
I
I
mean,
got questions for days, bro.
bro, I love it. I love it. It's so good that we're living these times because even though it's not easy, it's not always easy. Uh, we are asking really good questions as generation, and we're trying to discover new ways of dealing with life and evolve, because evolution is the biggest act of love in the universe. And if we are going through a mental health issue, is for growth. Everything that we live in our life is for in order for us to evolve. And even though you might think that there is no escape, there is no other way, this thing, this little body that we have up here, is very powerful, and we can create our reality. So if we are deep in a hole, in a really in a really big pit in which we feel that everything is going wrong, it's going to be even bigger, and I think that we have this challenge as generation because we are more people, of course. We have grown in terms of population a lot in the last 100 years. So this is growing, but we have been having these issues forever, forever. The thing is that it's increasing exponentially, and we are seeing more suicide cases. We are seeing more depression and anxiety in our society, right? So first, we have to ask this necessary question: what is going on with our society that is making this happen? Yeah. And we have to answer that as a whole and change. I think, and I really think that we need drastic changes in our society, because it's going to explode. Everyone is dealing either with anxiety or depression, and this is an effect. This is a consequence of something that is happening in the whole planet. We need to evolve. We need to grow, but we don't. With the system that we have built up has, how can I say, like, it has a deadline, and we are reaching that deadline. So we need something that it will be better for everyone, because the system that we have built up is not going to be good any longer for everyone. So that's why we are suffering all these mental health issues, so we can discover something new together. And what would I say to somebody that is going through a very dark moment?
Yes, because you are one thing. Before you answer that, you are someone. I can say this from knowing you for a couple of years. You are someone that can help change their mindset. You are that person. You give that energy to people. So I want to hear what what would you say to that person if
Yeah,
they were
well,
going
first
through
of
it?
all, it's very difficult to help in these circumstances, because
Oh yeah, of course.
you can give the perfect pill to anyone that is going through this, and still, like, you can try to help, but that person is responsible of its own, and they make their own decisions in order to evolve, right?
Of
But
course.
it's always good to help. So what I will say to someone is, first of all, and this is something very common, look for help. But if you want to look for help, first you have to identify that you're going through something. If you reject that you're going through something, there's nothing and nobody can help you. You know what I mean? So first you have to identify that you are going through something. If you don't accept that you need to change, you need to move from stage, there's nothing else. So you're going to reach the extreme top of that situation until you make that decision that is necessary. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So the best of that for anyone will be to identify and accept that you need a change. You're going through a delicate situation, and then look for help. Being surrounded of people that you identify that they are helpful. These are the moments, the key moments that help you out to really connect and know the people that surrounds you, because those that are friends and that they are there for you, they are the ones you want them always nearby, you know and that they are a positive influence. But these are also the moments in which you also realize that maybe you have certain relationships that aren't good for you, and they are not helping. And it can be relationship with people or with things, with habits, all these things. Identify all the relationships that you have, and then go for a change. In order to do that change, you need help, and that's the most important thing. I had a very deep crisis when I was studying medicine. I told you some while ago about that, and I was like 3 weeks in which I was like in my room. I didn't go outside. I was like in total depression with the suicide thoughts and all this stuff. And and what helped me a lot was my family and my true friends, and and then I started to realize that the life is wonderful. In general, the life is wonderful. It's sometimes the work can be hard. The life here on the earth is sometimes we have to struggle, but if your mindset starts to always focus on the light and the positive view, everything that you see and that you create and that you live, everything is going to be good towards your life, but first, it's important is the theory is easy, right? But the most important thing, if you're in a pit, try to look for help and identify. You have to accept, you have to be honest and face yourself. Like nobody else is going to drag you from that pit. They are going to help you, but you are the first one to make the decision.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, man. Jordy, what do you think, man?
First and foremost, I 100% agree, Renee. Glad you touched a few topics that you actually talked about. Let's say, first of all, if you're in a bad place, know that you're not alone. Every single person on the face of this earth has challenges, is struggling with something. What you see is almost never what you think it is. So just know that you're not alone. Second of all, as Renee said, identify or just feel, be honest to how you feel, and then just accept the fact that you're going through something. Then if you change, I like to change perspectives of things, because if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So when you change your perspective from why is this happening to me to why is this happening for me, then you can start to find the lessons and the blessing in every single situation. Because as I said already, God is preparing you for something much greater. Every struggle has its purpose. And when you see to life as if every struggle has its purpose, you just know better things are coming. And if you feel like you can't fall any lower, that's an amazing place to be, because then you can start building yourself up again. I think community is something very, very important in these times, because as Renee already said, we're going through very weird, difficult times. For some people, it's like the worst time ever. For other people, it's the best time ever, because it's the perspective again. For a lot of people, Corona, lockdowns, all of that shit was like the worst thing ever. For me, it was a blessing. I learned how to spend time with myself, listen to my thoughts, create the life in my mind of what it is I want to do, and then just work towards it. So yeah, it's more that like how can you change? The easiest way to change, seek help. Okay, 100%. Why? I love what you said, Renee, when you said like you can get whatever advice in life that like, yo, this would probably completely change this person's life, and they don't act on it. Why? Because they are not open to receive that advice. When you seek counseling with people, the best people, the mentors, let's say, people that know where you're going through because they went through it by own experience, they will be able to ask you the right questions so that you can start like understanding what you're going through from your own perspective. Because I say, Renee, you got a problem. You're like, whatever, no, yes, I don't know, what can I do about it? But if you ask like, yo, how are you feeling? What do you think you can do about it? La, 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 la. Then people tend like to find solutions themselves. And I strongly believe, scientifically proven, you become like the people, you become the average of the people you spend most time with. I
Yeah.
posted something today on Instagram on my story. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. And I
Nice.
heard like, yeah, I heard like your environment is like you are a product of your environment, and that sounds logical, but actually that's not true. Your environment is a product of yourself. So if you
Yeah.
don't like your environment, change your environment. If you don't like something in your life, like I love what you said, Renee, like make a list of everything in your life. Is it inspiring you? Is it giving you energy, or is it sucking away your energy? Because be very honest, if it's not benefiting you, your mind tries to hold on what you always been holding on to, like old things. But your environment, if it's not getting you any further, helping you become more happy, sometimes it's time to cut things off, because some people or things are there for just a season, other for a reason, another for a lifetime. And you need to like be aware of what things are serving you, and what ties do I need to cut to make room for other things that will eventually get me happy. So that's the advice I will give.
I
I like
I want to
that,
add
man. Ooh,
I want
thank
to
you
add
about
up
that. I like that.
a little thing, bro. Totally agree, man. I love it. I love this podcast, this conversation, because it's very helpful for all of us. And we are going back to community, to tribe. You know, all these podcast viral thing that we're going through now for a couple of years now. I think it's a response of that. You know, we have realized that being alone is not the answer, and we are not alone. If you're going through a situation that provokes you whatever, depression, anxiety, whatever, you're not alone. We have to understand that the best thing we can do now is to uh, be in a community, in a tribe that help you out, right? And the other thing that I think it can be one of the key points in the problem of our generation is and we have mentioned it through this conversation, the purpose. Have passion and purpose. If you have passion and purpose, the life is wonderful. Like there's no way it equals that. If you have purpose and passion, I think it's very difficult that you are going to struggle. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like you knock 100 doors and you might have a no for answer, right? In all the aspects. But still, if you have that purpose and passion, it doesn't matter. You believe in it. You feel it and you build it, because we're magicians. We can build up our reality, and we are, as mankind, we are realizing about that power. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So before we get out of here, I want you guys to both give an inspirational message to the people that are trying to get to where they need to go. And for some people that just need to hear it, I need to hear two inspirational messages. Jordy, I'm gonna start off with you. Renee, you're gonna end it.
So for all of you watching and listening, just wanted to tell you, like, you're absolutely extraordinary. Like, for real, go stand in the mirror, say to yourself, like, you're awesome, you're beautiful, you're God's highest form of creation. You can create whatever life you want to create, and eventually, like, don't take life too serious. Stop thinking what other people think of you, because most people don't even think, and eventually it doesn't matter, because you come alone, you go alone. Just tend to focus on feeling good. Know that you're awesome. Know that you're amazing. And if you're going through hard times, know that everything is temporary. Know that everything is temporary. Life itself is amazingly beautiful. Start focusing on the good, not the bad, because what you focus on grows. And if you're having a hard time, like, reach out to Ray, reach out to Renee, reach out to myself on
Sure.
socials. That's like fulfilling my purpose, is to inspire others to feel better, to feel happy, to find purpose in life. But start loving yourself more. And yeah, that's the mission I want to send out, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for
Renee.
the opportunity, by the way.
Amazing.
Yeah, of
Amazing.
course, man. Of course. Renee, what
Amazing.
about you, bro?
I copy paste that advice, you know. No, I love it. You know, I was reading right now because I just created this class, this room, and I've pasted these flashcards in the walls. I will show it to you. This one.
Amazing.
And I was reading, and I was like, I will say this, and here we go. You say, be you, stay inspired, be happy, make your own magic, be positive, be thankful, be creative, dream big, and the last but not least, follow your heart.
Wow.
Ooh, okay. All right, and then I'm gonna end it like this. For the people that are watching that are going through something, just like Jordy kind of said, you know, there's somebody there for you. Take advantage of that. It's okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to be vulnerable. I'm gonna say it again. It's okay to be vulnerable. We all struggle with something. We are all dealing with something. We are all human. Just remember those couple things, and trust me, you will see life differently. When you realize that you are like everybody else, that everybody goes to the bathroom, that everybody does the same exact things like you do, you tend to have love for yourself. Self compassion is the word for the week. This is Just a Thought podcast. My two guests, Renee and Jordy, thank you so much. Let's get it. Yes.
Let's go.
Yes. Thank you guys.